Hello, and here we are. We're at video number 6. While I was off camera, I've actually already attached one of the wings because I wanted to end my video with a completed owl. I didn't want to end up with a one-winged owl because I just didn't. I wanted it to be a complete thing once I'd finished my video. So what we're going to do is put this owl to one side for the moment. Still using the same colour as the body. What I've done is I've actually made a leaf shape. So we're going to cast on, or do our magic loop and get the yarn onto your hook, and we're going to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We skip the first chain and we're going to work underneath one strand, and we're going to slip stitch into the second of the chain. Into the next chain we're going to single crochet, and we're going to single crochet in the next chain, and then we're going to half double crochet in the next, and half double crochet in the next, and then we're going to double crochet in the next 2. 1, 2, and then we've got one more chain which we're going to work 7 double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, I forgot to tuck the tail under, so I'm just going to tuck the tail under. 6, 7. Don't worry about that big hole, we'll pull that tighter later on. Now, on this particular pattern I'm going to come underneath 2 strands when I come back. So the next stitch is a double crochet. So a double crochet in the next 2, so that's 1. Remember, underneath 2 strands, and that's 2. Then we half double crochet in the next 2, so that's 1 and 2. We single crochet in the next 2, 1, 2, and right in the very last one we're going to do a slip stitch. Okay, and that's all we're going to do for one side. We cut off our yarn, pull the tail through, and we pull the tail tight on this one. Okay, so that's what we've got with the first part of it. Then we're going to do exactly the same thing again. Oh dear, don't tell me I've got my yarn tangled up, because last time I did this I actually spent probably 20 minutes trying to untangle the silly knot that I'd made. Right then, so we're going to go back to the beginning, cast on with our magic loop, chain 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Skip the first chain, underneath one strand, slip stitch into the next, single crochet in the next 2 chains, that's 1 and 2. Oh, please don't be tangled up yarn. Oh, it's not coming out, is it? I'm really sorry. Right, that's better. Right, so we've done 1, 2, and then we need to half double crochet in the next 2, 1 and 2, double crochet in the next 2, 1, 2, and 7 double crochet in the end of the chain. So that's 1, 2, oh dear, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to tuck the tail under at 5, 6, don't know what it is with this yarn and these owls. Where have I got to? 6, and this one makes 7. It's just been completely bonkers all the way through. I think it's because the first owl hypnotised me, and I'm like, I'm really joking. Right, so now we need to work ourselves. We've done 7 in the end. We need to work back down the chain. We do double crochet in the next 2. Remember, we're going underneath 2 strands this time. So that's 2, half double crochet in the next 2, so that's 1 and 2, single crochet in the next 2, so that's 1 single crochet and that's 2 single crochet, and right in the very last one we're going to do a slip stitch. And I'm just going to put my work down a minute because I really do need to have this bit of yarn untangled. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so now you've got your second leaf. What I want you to do is just turn your hook round, get hold of the beginning tail and pull it through to the top for this one, and then pull that tight so that you've got your leaf, or it's not your wing that you're using now. And then what we're going to do is the very first 2 strands there of our first stitch, we're going to slip stitch underneath there, so we're going to push the hook through there, then we're going to get the second piece and those same 2 stitches, well, it's 1 stitch, but those same 2 pieces, we're going to put those there. We need to get our tail end, we need to make sure that this tail is out of the way, and then we're going to slip stitch through there, pull that through, it will be a bit tight, and then pull that through those 2 there. I did say it was going to be tight, it is a tight stitch, and then finally through the one that was on your hook. Pull that nice and tight so these 2 pieces go together nicely, and then we're going to go under the next 2 loops of a stitch on 2 loops of the back and slip stitch through. Under the next 2 loops, next 2 loops, and slip stitch through. Under 2 loops, under 2 loops, and slip stitch through. If you're a bit concerned when you've gone through the first 2 loops so that you're not quite right, you can always check where your tail's sticking out of that end and know that the stitch is there. I hope it hasn't gone blurry because I keep moving too much and the camera's on autofocus. And it's on my special stand that my dad bought me. My dad made me. Well, he paid for all the stuff as well, actually. Bless him. He's so good. Thanks, Dad. Yeah. When I wanted to start doing my own videos, I knew that I wanted people to see through my eyes. So I came up with a drawing of what I actually wanted, and phoned up my dad and said, "Dad, I want you to make me this." And he's like, "What?" And I tried to describe it over the phone and he didn't understand, so I took him my drawings and showed him what I wanted to do, and he was like, "Oh yeah, okay then, that's fine." And I don't know, like, it just felt like a minute later he was like, "Ta-da!" and there it was my stand. And then as things changed, and I felt like I needed more elbow room, because it was starting to make me feel like I had not got much space to work in. So he extended it for me. So thanks for the extension, Dad. I did tell him that I wanted actually another extension now, so I can actually start to make it so I can actually raise up my camera, you know, because like the owl, while I've been doing that, realistically I suppose it could have done with my camera being higher, but it's okay, we've done it, and I can improvise at home and make it higher myself anyway. But yeah, so I just thought I'd share that. I don't know why, random stuff. Right then, so right at the very end, remember we slip stitched into that place there, so these 2 strands of this stitch, they're going to be quite tight to get underneath to do that, more so of the actual bit that you need to go through at the back of there. So you can just push your hook through and go for potluck. It doesn't matter about this last, oops, the last stitch. Oh, it even came off my hook. Look, how bad was that? So we're going to go into there, and then what we're going to do, because I want you to make sure this stitch is really tight, move this tail out of the way again. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go, you can see the actual holes in the centre of your wing. Into the very first hole you can see, just push your hook all the way through to the back. And because you've stitched, done the slip stitching all the way around, these holes automatically just go into place. And then we're going to slip stitch through there and pull that one nice and tight. Because as we turn to be able to come into the next stitch, if you haven't pulled your stitches there tight enough, you end up with like a baggy stitch on the end. So pull them tight, and then through the next stitches, saying it's just, you're going straight through the centre. I don't know if you can see actually all the way through on mine, but if you look at your own work, you'll be able to see daylight straight through the middle of your wing. And you're just going to slip stitch all the way through those centre loops, making sure you haven't caught hold of any of the other tails that are left behind, and then into the last one there, and then you're going to cut off this one, pull the yarn through. Okay, now you've got a leaf and you've got 4 strands. This one that's right at the very top there, or the bottom, whichever way around you look at it, you want to save that one. I always like to do this very last stitch I finish with, I like to sew this one in first and make sure that these are all tucked in out of the way before I actually sew it to the owl's body. So I'm going to go back through the same place, making sure that I've gone over that little loop through there and just pull that, and then just tuck that away inside between them both. Make sure your stitch hasn't come through the opposite side, and that's going to be hidden in between both of your wing pieces, or your leaf if you want to use these as leaves. They're wonderful for leaves, for oh, what do you call that? Applique, is it? Is that how you pronounce it? Applique work? It's like the owl, when the owl's flat. That's effectively an applique. So there we go, I've got those 2 bits done, and we've just got this one here. So all these strands are all out of the way, like so. Just check I haven't come through. There. Okay, and then the last one that's right at the very centre, this is the one that we're going to actually sew the wing to the actual owl's body. Now the way that I like to do it is I like to look where the eye has finished, and it doesn't matter whether your eyes are higher up, lower down. I just think that the wings seem to just look better if they're sitting at the bottom of the eyes. So you go to the bottom of the eye and look around, and where you've done your, when you slip stitch together, look, you can see that you've got some strands there. That's where, now you want to make sure that your wing has got the centrepiece, that's got to be facing outwards. You've got your thing there, and you're going to go underneath those 2 and then come through, not in the centre, just to one side, because we're actually going to go back into the centre to go back into the owl. So come to one side a little bit and pull that nice and tight. Then we're going to go through there, because even though you've pulled it tight, you can still see where you've been. We're going to come underneath there, so we've gone through the top into the owl, pull that there, and pull that stitch tight, and then we will just want to come through just to slightly to the side again. Pull your stitches nice and tight, and then we're going to go into the centre, straight into the owl, through the other side. I'm just going to do that whole thing. Just going to come back into the wing, back into the centre point. As I go into the centre, I'm going straight into the owl, back through there. We've actually caught a bit of the fibre inside. Pull that through. So this wing is really nice and tight now, yeah? Once you're happy that your wing is really nice and tightly in place, then all you're going to do is just come into the owl's body, come out at a random place, and then if you just go sort of underneath a loop and then back in again, just so that you're just catching hold of that, so you're just going to stop that piece of strand from wanting to go anywhere. And the same again, through the body, through a random place, and that's just going to stop that strand from popping out anywhere. And there you have it. You should have, well, you won't, you'll only have one wing on your owl, but when you've finished and you've done both sides, you'll have your owl. And I don't know if I can do it if I've got enough room, if we're coming really close, but if you twist the owl like this and then let go, you can play. Children will do things like this. You need to test out things to make sure that they're going to work. Okay, so there you go. There's my version of Wilko's owl. I hope you like what I've done. All of the patterns for every single little bit. So under each video, where you can see the little right underneath my video, there's a little box where I can put a description, and you just click a little bit where it says show more. And where you click show more, that's where I've got the written versions of patterns. I'm also going to type all of this one up and make it into a PDF file and put it up for sale in my it's cottage cake on my Etsy. And the reason why I'm allowed to actually sell it is because I've actually done all the hard work of actually making it into a written pattern, and the wings are different, the eyes are different, and also I'm going to include in there how to make the little baby one too, so that you can actually make yourself a little family of owls if you'd like to. So let's put them together that way round. Oh, let's get the other one and have two hypnotic owls together. Look into my eyes. No, you look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. No, you look into my eyes. No, the baby's coming. Shh, be quiet. I want to go to sleep. There you go. Hope you have lots of fun with your owls. Oh, there's the mummy one, the pink one too. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Bye for now.